Hello and welcome to the Tarot with Titania reading of the week for June 27th to July 5th, 2024. As you can see, I am home again, back in familiar surroundings after a phenomenal trip and graduation ceremony in London, England. For the well wishes that came in for that, thank you very, very much. And let's get down to this week's reading, bringing all that good energy along with it. I invite you to close your eyes and take 3 nice deep breaths. Pulling ourselves back into our beautiful bodies. Pulling ourselves back into this very significant now moment. And imagining a true root coming down out of the base of our spines, going down deep into Mother Earth, grounding us here and now in this present time. Knowing that this true root is not only grounding us and anchoring us in this now moment, it is also a conduit through which anything that no longer serves us can easily pass down into Mother Earth and become compost for our new good growth. Creator, this is your daughter Titania, and I'm here once again doing the reading of the week, and I'm so grateful to be able to do this good work. My intention is to be a clear channel for the information we most need to receive right now, and to provide this in a manner that we will easily and effortlessly hear, understand, and integrate for our personal and our collective highest and greatest good. I call upon my higher self and the higher selves of all those listening, now and in the future, as well as an overlighting angel of communication to be present and facilitate this exchange, ensuring that it happens in the highest and best way possible, and that we cover all that is in our personal, and our collective heart and mind at this time to our satisfaction in this window that we have together here today. I'd like to invite the 4 archangels to come and hold the 4 directions around us, creating a sacred container of clarity, of wisdom, of healing, of transformation, upliftment, and peace. I invite Raphael to hold the east, Michael to hold the south, Gabriel to hold the west, and Uriel to hold the north. Thank you for coming. Anything that doesn't match these frequencies and intentions is welcome to go now. So let's get started, shall we? I've come back to January. This is very common where I live, that the month of June is rainy and cold, but it was splendid to have a little taste of summer while I was abroad. Okay, Creator, what is it that we most need to know this week for our personal and collective highest and greatest good, that we may be at our best, that we may bring our best to life, that we may clear whatever it is that is blocking us from being happy and healthy and radiant, strong and capable. Okay, sending love and light out to anyone who needs it right now. This is what we need to know for this week, June 27th to July 5th, 2024. Sorry, 28th. Bit jet lagged. We're starting with the Prince of Wands in the recent position. So this past position indicates things that we are aware of that are already part of who we are, that we need to call upon at this time as we move through the energies of the coming week. Prince of Wands, princes are knights in my deck, and they mean energy that changes quickly, that there's a lot of movement, a lot of coming in and going out. There's a lot of circulation on the level of creativity, inspiration, passion, of our generative capacity, our ability to be, a clear channel for the life force that is coming through us, which is ideally what we're here to do, is to really become self-aware and hone our gifts and really move life through us out into the world through our words, our actions, our deeds, our products, the things that we make, the things that we are creating into life. So this means a lot of change, a lot of movement, a lot of circulation on that level. And this is important in this present and future, this quality of being aligned, being generative, allowing that energy to flow, not impeding it. And let's face it, we all do it to some extent or another. We all stop our flow from happening. And whether that's self-sabotage, whether that's our belief in limitations, which is a form of self-sabotage, whether it's the stories we hear out in the world, whatever it is, we often stop ourselves from being that light, clear channel for more life flowing through us, allowing those creative results to come through us into the world, in whatever form they may take. Again, this doesn't have to be a tangible, concrete thing, although it often is, because it's a creative, generative quality. But this can be, as I said, through our words, through our actions, through the energy that we're even imparting to the world. So this is important, this quality of change, of energy, and how it moves us forward. We need to know how to do this, how to flow our life force energy, how to adjust and adapt, ebb and flow with that energy. We can't always be turned on. I think that's one of the misconceptions that we often have in our culture, is that we have to go full throttle all the time, always being, always doing, always having results. And any wise individual knows that to everything there is a season, that everything that we do, for every output, requires rest and integration and consideration. When we put out a lot of energy, we also need to then withdraw and integrate that experience and what we've just done. It's funny because it's speaking to my own experience right here, right now. We always need to be doing the ebb and flow of the wave up on the beach and back again. That's how our energy goes. That's why we have seasons. It's why nature is the way that it is, and we are nature. We are part of that cyclical quality. So giving ourselves a break and not attempting to falsely be on all the time, always awake, always doing, always, not resting, not regenerating. Both are very, very important. If our cup isn't full, we can't spill it out into the lives of others, and that requires us to take care of ourselves. So what's the card here for the present? It's the card of change. So the energy of transformation continues to flow in our experience. I think we're all pretty clear about that right now. It's just what's up on the planet. We are changing. The world is changing. Our systems are changing. Life is changing. And we are not passive participants in that experience. We are dynamic participants. We are co-creators with the collective life force. And if we want life to go in a particular way, we have to line up with it. We need to be giving our energy to what it is that we want to see. So part of this generative quality, it's understanding that we are all here to line up with our yes. That's our sacred work. Discover our yes, line up with our yes, say yes to our yes, and move in that direction, because that is where life wants us, where things are the shiniest, most inspiring, most rejuvenating, most enlivening. I said that already. You get the idea. That quality of life calling to us, shiniest, most exciting, most enthusiasm generating. That quality is what we need to be paying attention to, because that's where we need to be. That's where our people are. That's where our opportunities are. That's where everything that we want is. And if we don't pay attention to that, we're actually turning the dial down on life force, on our vitality, on our capacity to really be and express all that we're here to be and shine. So this card of change is in our present. The shedding of the old. We have snakes here. You can probably see that in the card. It's the shedding of the old. Letting go of what no longer serves us. Just moving things out. Making room for what we want to have happen. If our room is cluttered, if our life is cluttered with stuff or with people and relationships that are not in alignment with our yes, then there's no room for the new and the good to come in and find us. So I'm not saying just go out there and hug out all your relationships and all your stuff unless you feel deeply compelled to. This is a wise, judicious understanding of what this means. It's about creating space for the change and transformation to happen. If you want to be something different, first you need to become aware of what that difference is, and then release all that is no longer congruent with that. And that makes room then for the changes that you want. It allows a vacuum to form in your life so you can pull in very effortlessly all those things that are essential. And this is on all levels, body, mind, heart, and spirit. So that's the quality of the present, this energy of change. And it's change on the material level, because it's a pentacle. As I said, it does apply on all levels though. The near future is the card of protection, the 10 of Pentacles, or legacy, as I like to call it. This is what we're moving towards. What are we creating? What are we generating? What are we making happen? What are we leaving for future generations? How do we want our time on this planet to be in service to more life for those who are coming? Not just thinking about it for us, but thinking about it for the future. How do we want the land to be in the future? Do we want it poisoned with chemicals? Do we want it poisoned by toxic agriculture and other practices that don't acknowledge the life that is in the soil? Or do we want to be moving to something that is more sustainable? A regenerative agriculture, for instance, where there's so much good that can happen in how we interact with the soil and how we grow food. Same thing with the air, same thing with the water. This was a distinction that came to me at the Chalice Well in England. We are the living waters. We are the living, breathing expression of the energy of water, of flow, of generative, creative life force. We are the ones that are creating on this planet. We are the ones that are making things happen. And our ability to do so needs to be recognized consciously, and we need to apply it deliberately. And so this card is reminding us of that responsibility, because it's not a light thing. We all come on this planet. We all have our turn. How are we acting our turn? How are we participating in our turn? And what are we leaving as a result of it? But if we line up with the yes of who we are, we can ease into a place of always following the highest energy, the highest flow, the highest respect, the highest love, the highest kindness, the highest flow and well-being, and live that into the world, guided by the broader, wiser part of us, divine life force, the central hub of love and light in our planet and beyond. That's what we're here to be, is clearings for this energy. And when we do that, everything flows so much more easily. It really is a remarkable difference of experience. So, things moving quickly, changing energy on the level of the generative capacity, and understanding we have to line up with that so that we can move with it effortlessly, because things are changing quickly at this time. This energy of change, of letting go of that which no longer serves us, letting go of what is no longer part of the picture of who we are going forward. And that, as I said, can be physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. We are all shedding what no longer serves us. And that can be other people's stuff in our field, and it can be things and expectations that we have about ourselves that are no longer relevant because we've changed. We're not the same person. And then this quality of energy going into the future, this idea of legacy. How are we doing life? How are we leaving this world? How are we participating in this world? Are we making it a better place for our passage through it, or are we making it worse? What is our contribution, and how will it serve more life 7 generations hence? If we think in these ways, we can transform our relationship to the world, to each other, and create the world and the transformation that we know needs to happen, that is for our personal and collective highest and greatest good and the good of this planet and all life on her. The foundation card, why we're having this reading, is the card of defeat. And what I like to draw people's attention to with this card is that you'll notice this person is not in a crumpled heap on the floor. That truly would be defeat, but rather is standing on this purified white rose of desire, facing the adversity. And maybe they don't have gobs of energy, but they're still prepared to stand in what they know to be true. That's what this white rose represents. And we each have a different experience of trueness. We have certain agreements that we have in a culture, but we all have a different direct experience of life for us. And we need to stay aligned with that. We need to stay true to ourselves, to what is true for us, and move in that direction. And I can't know what's true for you, just like you can't know what's true for me. We are all here having our unique journey. And when we come from this higher, more activated, conscious, intentional space, we're no longer driven by the animal nature, which would be, represented by a red rose, or the passion of that lower frequency energy. It's very strong, and it's not bad or wrong. It's simply different. The purified white rose of desire is just that. It's our purified desire. It's that yes that we know inside of ourselves, but it's not the eating the whole cake in the fridge. It's taking that energy and channeling it in appropriate ways. That wasn't a very good example, but I think you probably understand what I'm saying. This isn't about going with the lower frequency of our existence, but rather the higher one, the part of us that is always striving to become the best that we are, and to express that into the world in wonderful ways through our talents, our skills, and our abilities, seeing, affirming, and evoking the best in others as well as ourselves. That striving is that purified desire. That seeking our yes and moving in the direction of our yes in good ways, that's purified desire. That's the quality that I'm speaking about. And so this card is in the foundation position. That's why we're having the reading. So we're having the reading about this energy of feeling perhaps defeated, of feeling the adversity, and realizing that not all of the battles are our battles. We're not here to resist and fight and do somebody else's thing. We're here to live our yes and to move in the direction of our yes. And there may be battles involved with following our yes. But it's very important to pay attention to the energy of it. Are you feeling enlivened, or are you feeling like your energy has been shut off? That you're drained, exhausted before you've even begun? Pay attention to that, because there's no life force coming for you if you go in that direction. It just means less energy. Whereas when we move in the direction of what our heart and mind and spirit is calling us towards, our yes, there's always more energy there for us. It generates more energy and enthusiasm within us, and then we're able to continue, and our cup is full, and it flows over into the lives of others. These are very, very important distinctions for us to have. But if we are founding our life on fighting somebody else's fight, on doing something somebody else's way, or doing things in a manner that is not congruent with who we truly are, pleasing somebody else to keep them happy, whether that's your parents, whether that's your boss, whether it's other people in your life, husbands, wives, children, we can't live somebody else's truth. We have to live our own, even if it is a little bit inconvenient. So just remembering that seems to be pretty strong in this reading this week, is that it's a time of change, it's a time of letting things go that no longer are true or authentic and congruent, time of really leaning into what are we leaving for the future. And not from a place of a have to and it's so hard, but rather from a place of what a blessing that we can think in this way, that we can consider our impact, that we can make new choices that line up with our authentic expression, and that we can create something magnificent on this planet for ourselves and then for everyone else around us, because when we shine, everyone shines. It's a magical, magical thing that when we move towards our light increases and enables the light of those around us. So never lose sight of that. When you shine your light brightly, it doesn't diminish the light of anybody else. Okay, so there's our reading for this week. This change in the level of generative capacity. Things moving and changing. The card of change in our present. We're letting go of stuff. We're shedding the old. We're creating room for the new. We're letting go of what we were and making room for what we're becoming. This projection into the future. How are we being? What are we creating for the future? Changing how we are in relationship to life in the material world from a place of severed generations, hence our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, those who are coming later. How are we caring for this planet in the meantime? How are we changing things now so it's even better for them in the future? And then the foundation card, this sort of feeling of adversity, feeling of resistance, and not letting that knock us off our center. Staying grounded in our purified desire, staying grounded in our yes, staying grounded in who we are authentically, and moving in that direction for our good and the good of everyone with whom we come in contact. Because we can't feel bad enough to change anything in anybody else's experience. We can only move towards what we know to be true and authentic and congruent for us, and bring that to life in full color, in full glory, so that it benefits us and all those around us, and this planet as well, especially if we're thinking from this perspective. And with that, let's pull our card to grow on, shall we? All right, Creator, help us to summarize this reading this week for personal and collective highest and greatest good, so that we can shine brightly, that we can shed what no longer serves us, stay aligned and true with what it is that we hold in our hearts, and be clearings for brilliant new legacy for humanity on this planet, sharing our world here in beautiful ways with each other and the other life forms. What do we need to know, Creator? What is our card to grow on for this week of June 28th to the 5th of July, 2024? King of Wands. So again, creative, generative potential and being in that place of mastery with this. It's not about faffing around. It's fun to faff, don't get me wrong. But this is about being really deliberate. This is the masculine energy of the creative, generative energies of manifestation. So being deliberate about this, having a plan, working the plan, really considering what we want, bringing the mind into it, that because it's the male symbol is usually mind rather than intuition. So it's really coming up with a vision of what is it that we want, creating a list maybe around it, or a manifestation poster around it, something around that quality of energy of seeing clearly what it is that we want, being masterful, going for what we want, and not letting ourselves get distracted. That's the big thing. So many distractions on the planet these days. I know you all know what I mean, whether it's Facebook, Netflix, whatever it is that's your personal distraction. There's a lot of it right now that's keeping us from being really on purpose, really deliberate, and really productive, following our rhythms, following our expression, being outward and then inward, following our own cycles. So this card, the King of Wands, is really about mastery on the level of our generative potential, really about mastery on the level of lining up with our yes and being our yes and moving in that direction and holding it powerfully so that we are on purpose, really moving life forward in a beautiful way for ourselves and for all those we surround ourselves by. So our card to grow on is the King of Wands. It's not about faffing, it's about getting on our horses and getting stuff done, not letting our energy be dissipated by outside circumstances. And there's so much that we can be dissipated by. But coming back to our yes and letting that be our guide. Where's the highest enthusiasm? Go in that direction. You'll always be guided aright if we do. And with that, I invite you to take a nice deep breath. Coming back to yourself, coming back to you here and now in this present moment. Knowing that this information is landing exactly as it needs to in your field, and that you will make perfect use of this information in whatever way is most relevant and helpful and supportive of you at this time on this beautiful planet Earth. Creator, this is your daughter Titania. Thank you once again for this opportunity to gather and co-create the reading of the week. Much appreciation and gratitude to everyone who is helping to hold the space. All those on the physical and in the energetic realms. All our grandmothers, our grandfathers, our ancestors, all the lineages on whose shoulders we stand. So grateful for their wisdom and their following of their yes to the best of their ability to create the magnificent place on which we stand. I want to thank all those who are with us. I ask for continued guidance and support. Help open our eyes. Please open our eyes to our yes and make it easy for us to flow in those directions so that we can personally and collectively, with ease and grace, manifest a magnificent future personally and collectively. Help to transform our worlds in right relationship to each other, to ourselves, to this land, this air, this water, all those essential aspects of being human on this earth at this time. Sending love and light out to you, to those you love, to anyone in your circle who may need it. There are people praying all the time on this planet. There are people meditating all the time on this planet. There's always a circle of energy and light being held. And it's there for us to tap into whenever we need it. We're part of the family of light, and when we meditate and we hold energy and pray, we are adding to that beautiful field of energy. So just be aware of that when you have your time of prayer or meditation. And if you feel you're in need of support, just realize it's there. The human family is always holding us, and our spirit family is there for us and our good as well. And with that, I wish you a beautiful week, and I will look forward to seeing you next Friday. Much love and light, and take really good care. Bye for now.